probably succeed.
So am I allowed to tell people that Tohru is the best yet?
Yes.
Yay, Tohru is the best.
Tohru is the... What is this dollar sign? Insert ad? What is that? Oh. Oh, wait, I can like... Wait, hold on. It's allowing me to play an ad if I want to.
Wait. It's not streaming yet for me.
Well, there's like a... No, I mean like there's a
there it
button.
is.
There's a button on the top right that plays an ad. And I would press that button, but there's like no reason to. I don't do podcasts for ad revenue.
I thought you were going to say you don't do podcasts.
Yeah, I don't do podcasts.
As we're doing one.
Yeah, I just don't believe in them. I don't think they're a good source of entertainment or any insight at all.
Why did I ever watch a podcast? It was boring and like people talk, but people don't know anything.
Yeah, it's like if I want to listen to people talk, I'd like talk. So.
Yeah, I'll just listen to myself talk since I'm smart.
Right, exactly. You are you, and I am me, and we just if you want interaction, just talk to yourself.
Exactly, and then mail us popcorn.
Right, exactly. I like the way you think.
Exactly. Well, I don't know how my brain sometimes breaks, sort of.
Well, Rising, we are live. You know what that means, right?
Tohru is the best.
Tohru is officially the best. Not just the best. Not just the best. Forever the best.
I agree. Yeah, I don't care about Amelia anymore.
I mean, who did? Sorry, Kyles. You're a great voice actress. Love you to death. But you're just... Tohru is just better.
She should voice Tohru instead.
Kyles could voice Tohru. That's the thing.
Yes.
Have you heard Kyles?
I don't know. I heard one of the skits that Hollow did, but I don't know if Kyles was in that one.
She's basically Amelia. So...
Okay.
She's about as nice as Amelia, too, so...
I mean, that's great.
So it fits.
Yeah. So are we trying to listen to a ReZero podcast?
Apparently so. Yeah.
All right, ReZero is great, too. So I guess I should pull up my notes. I mentioned this to see earlier today, but I was out at work and I was thinking, well, what do I need to talk about? And I decided to add 3 notes while I was at lunch. One that says Kisa, one that says Kisa, and one that says Kisa.
Oh my god, what were those references to?
Well, first of all, Kisa, because Kisa's in the episode.
Right.
Oh, KRW6 is right. That's interesting. The other one is Kisa and Hiro, because it was a relationship built within and possibly because of the curse, but it's one that is enduring, outside of the curse. It has a greater meaning to it. Because one of the things that this is all about is breaking the curse, getting away from the Somas and the Zodiac and all that for many of the characters, which they really need. But it shows that they're still able to be good salvage from it in the relationships that form because of it. And you have Kisa and Hiro, which are precious. You have Haru and Rin, which are also great. So yeah, that was my thought there.
Okay.
And my other thought was comparing Kisa and Akito, who they were 2 characters who could not be reached out to for the longest time until they found someone who truly knew how lonely they were. Because we saw that with Kisa, and Tohru could not reach her alone. It needed to be Yuki originally. And Tohru could not reach out to Akito until Tohru fully understood her own loneliness at losing her mother and seeing how Akito felt because of everything she went through.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm not sure.
There are tons of parallels and stuff here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if... See, that parallel is really interesting, I think. But I don't know if those were necessarily apples to apples in that case, but I do think that's interesting though. That's for sure.
It might also be we're looking too much into it, but I wonder if that's why Akito attacked Kisa so much, because she saw someone trying to escape the same loneliness, and so she saw herself in Kisa, so that's why she lashed out.
I see. That's interesting.
Yeah, or that might not be all of it, but I think it might be a piece of it, even if Akito doesn't know that fully.
Right, exactly. That's interesting. I wonder, I mean, before, Akito changed and all that, I wonder if the act of defiance itself is seeing how Akito, reacts to that and how she doesn't really enjoy people defying because it it's basically achieving what happened in this episode, sadly.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like that is a part of like all these characters' personality, not just Kisa, where they're not very aggressive or any, they're not trying to. I can't speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like they can't like defy Akito.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's definitely a big piece of the curse, though, is like they are programmed to not defy Akito.
Yeah. And maybe that's just the environment as well. That
Yeah,
Akito
that
has
could be
created.
too.
Can't protest. Can't.
Mhm.
Well,
I
speaking of
definitely
protests,
I feel like the curse is definitely a big piece of that, though. Though maybe
probably.
not the only piece.
Yeah. QRW6 says, "Isn't C still protesting against Katakawa?" Yeah.
Yeah, C is, but I'm not, so I can say as many things about other series that I want.
Francesca, best girl, says the way I saw why the curse broke was because Akito was able to let go of them. She was only able to do that because of Tohru's help and friendship. So in a way, Tohru broke the curse. Yeah, that's actually kind of the way I saw it, in a sense as well. I think I brought that up last night on the King of Anime podcast. I thought that was it was really cool. It was just a really great way to, I think, break the curse just in general.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely felt like Akito like let go of it. So like it was definitely willing and to at least a degree on her part. But I also feel like it wasn't so much the curse breaking for everyone else, but it was Akito breaking the curse for herself, and that is what like broke it for everyone else. Because we saw with a lot of the characters, they got to a point where like they were no longer felt bound by the curse, so that like let it go. And I
Yeah.
feel like for Akito, the same thing had happened. Like she no longer felt bound by the curse, so by letting it go herself, that like freed everyone else. Though, as QRW6 mentions, we did not see him when the curse broke, which is very interesting and surprising.
Yeah, maybe next episode we're gonna focus on Yuki. Because
Yeah,
this episode we had Kyo and Tohru have his moment, or have their moment together. Maybe next
yeah,
episode is our other character.
and it could be that the impact of Yuki's curse breaking is like more story relevant, so they didn't want to put it in this episode, so that's why they left it out.
Well, I think his character was, like for Yuki, like he didn't want to interact with anybody, so I think like that's gonna play a lot into Yuki. I can only imagine what these characters are going to be like after like going through all of this.
Yeah.
Francesca says, best girl says, the curse breaking wouldn't have been as impactful if it was some literal thing like, oh, you need to get these materials to break it. I think it makes more sense for the story for it to be metaphorical. And then EA says only God knows why. So
Exactly. Together,
Kid Rock.
It makes sense. But yeah, I hadn't thought about what Francesca's saying, how like Tohru was the one who broke the curse, something she'd been trying to for so long, but like doing indirectly, which that definitely fits, like lets everything tie together really well.
Wouldn't that be interesting if Kid Rock adapted Fruits Basket through his own albums?
This gives me an idea.
It's like it's Ba with the Ba, but the lyrics are related to Fruits Basket. Oh my god, that's terrible. EA says, did you get a PS5, C? In a couple days, I will. Yeah,
Okay.
Oh yeah. Rising, I was selected to buy a PS5. They sent me an
Yay,
email and
you're
they're
rich
like, you
now.
can buy one. Yeah, I mean, I can sell it for like $1,000 and make back double profit, or I could just keep it.
I will pay you 2 cats and a slinky for it.
I mean, that seems like a deal to me. Let's do it.
Exactly.
But anyways, yes, back to this curse. Sorry. Yeah, I think that it, yeah, being it, metaphorical, I think that makes more sense. Just because I think it also fits with the magic system they have going on with this series and this world. So I think when you have, like, if they were like, you have to, pick up the branch of yore and bring it to the tavern in Dallinsworth and give it to the shopkeep, who will then trade you for a magical jewel called the Omnicron Jewel of Death, and then you must eat it and become a turtle.
Well,
Like,
it makes sense too because so far in the series, magic has never been the solution to their problems. So, with the curse being the biggest problem, it would not make sense if there was a magic solution.
yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I do like how the magic in this world is just subtle in general, though. It's not really.
Yeah.
It plays like a massive effect, but it's very passive.
hmm Like, it's there, but it's not the point of the story at all.
Right. Tresca says, I love how the curse can represent many things: generational trauma, cycles of abuse in families that are hard to break out of, especially in Japan where children aren't often taken from abusive homes. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I've definitely heard of like representing family trauma is like what the curse symbolizes, but it can definitely be more than that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting the way they handle it, I think. Uh,
Yeah,
and and how it's not just, this fake story or whatever. It seems to take some kind of grounded approach to it, which
mhm.
kind of makes you
Like,
forget that there's like people with telepathy and magic and shit. So
yeah, we still never like got sense of like why Hana is the way Hana is,
yeah, which is
but
very
it's Hana,
interesting.
so it works.
Yeah, that's kind of like iceberg theory stuff where it's like you don't really have to say any of it, but
Yeah, it's
the
like
author
keep
probably
it
knows.
there. I wonder if there's more about Hana in the manga, or I just realized there's only like 2 episodes left. I'm sad because there's like so many things I
Yeah,
want to see.
yeah. Like I would love just like a book where it just explains a little bit more of the world lore. That would be pretty
Uh
cool.
huh. Yeah,
Uh,
QRW6 says the picture frame of Kyoko is fixed in the end, and I did not notice the cat beads, but it's
yeah, it's in like
interesting because
a little tray or whatever.
yeah. Well, I noticed that you have the cat beads, you have all the Zodiac. Well, I didn't notice the cat beads, but you have the Zodiac. Uh,
So
I'm looking for.
there is the little representations of the Zodiac from season one. There's the hat from
Yeah,
season one.
yeah.
There's the
There's the
picture
hat.
from season one.
And the
Uh,
picture is now like not like it's back. It's not broken at all, but it just like shows all of this is in the past now.
yeah, it's very cool stuff. Um, QRW6 says also, speaking of the beads, Kyo ripping his bead bracelet was so symbolic. Yeah, that was a great moment, just in general.
It
What did you
was,
think about
yes.
that moment?
Oh, it was great. Like in a way, it kind of felt expected, but it was still great.
I mean, I didn't think he was gonna rip the bracelet off, but when he looked at it, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna happen. He's gonna rip the
Yes.
damn thing off, and it was so great. I love that moment. It was great,
Yeah. It was.
and with Tohru in the background crying, it was a great happy moment, but I couldn't help but laugh a little bit. It was just her
It's
crying
Tohru.
face.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
how I wonder if there's a part of her that's wondering, wait, if like afraid that it's going to turn into a monster again if she doesn't like fully understand what just happened.
yeah. Hmm.
Because she doesn't know about any of the curses breaking, does she?
I don't. Well, she
Because she,
does. I
well,
think
she knows about Kuronos.
she knows about Kurnos.
Because I don't think she ever
Shit.
knew about Momiji's.
Yeah, I don't know if she knew about Momiji's. This is
Or
interesting.
Hira. Hira was the other one, right?
Did he know about? Does she know about Hero?
I don't see why she would. Maybe Kisa told her, but we never saw her learn about it.
Interesting. Interesting. Um, Mace Windex says Fruits Basket is now a 9.04 on Mal. What as a just a sidetrack while the chat responds to tell us if they told him or not. What do you think about Fruits Basket being a 9.04?
It's underrated. It still needs to be like a 10.7.
I think a 69 out of 4 is the perfect score for Fruits Basket.
Exactly.
It's the best score. What's up, Melina? How you doing?
Yeah, we have Ika Bacon say, hello, this episode really made me realize how important it is to understand the other person's side of the story, which, yeah, that's definitely a big piece of it. And it shows the mark of being of maturing is stepping outside yourself to understand the situation.
Yeah, talking about like, perspective and stuff. I wonder how Fruits Basket would be like if it was from the perspective of Akito instead. I think that would be interesting.
Well, we kind of got a little bit of that this season with so much of it from her perspective.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like imagine, I mean, it would probably be a much more slower show. Probably be shorter. But
Yeah.
like like I think from the get-go you would be sympathetic with Akito
You could
because
definitely.
because she would, it would almost reveal everything almost immediately, just out of necessity of the story, I think. And so,
And I feel like it would make people root for Akito because they see all the trauma that she goes through. And yes, she's doing all these bad things, but at the same time, like you understand why she's doing it, why she's making all these messed up decisions.
yeah, especially now, this episode really like solidified, I guess, the 180 of Akito.
Mhm.
Um, this episode really just made her just a character you just want to see get better, I think, and just
Yeah.
be happy, which is
Well, I said
crazy.
that. I said that last time. Like the episode made me say that Akito is the best because of the changes that she is trying to make, and you could argue whether she deserves forgiveness or not. But at the same time, I feel like you have to respect what she's trying to do and how how big of a thing that is.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's very true. I don't know. Yeah, Akito is just really great. I mean, honestly, it's really
Yeah.
hard to hate Akito at this point. Which,
Mhm.
imagine saying that in season 1.
Oh yes, or like season 2 after the beach arc.
Oh my god, especially after the beach arc. And with how that ended, I would have been like, no, we're not being nice to Akito.
Yeah.
So I guess finishing our tangent from the Kyo stuff. What did you think about just the whole Kyo's confession to Tohru?
It was great. I'm trying to think of more thoughts and things in that. Wait, something thought was interesting. I thought of are we watching this is that Kyo and Toru like both had a chance to talk to Kyoko like right before the last time that they saw her, but they didn't.
Huh? That's interesting.
And I also like it's obvious that if Kyo had done something, Kyoko wouldn't have died. But what if Toru had like talked to her mother for a little bit? Maybe she wouldn't have. Wait, I'm trying
I
to
mean,
think of the timeline of events. Because Toru was sick the day that Kyoko died, and that's like why she didn't say goodbye that morning.
yeah,
But then Toru went to school anyway, like showing how hard she was pushing herself, and that's what she found out about what happened to her mom.
interesting.
So I wonder if like Toru had done something different that morning, could that have also saved Kyoko?
Yeah, that's always interesting thinking about those kinds of perspectives because there's no
Mhm.
really right or wrong way because yeah, well, in that scenario maybe if she got up and said goodbye to her mother, she most likely would be alive, but that doesn't mean that it, you know, somebody else would be in that position, right? Or
Yeah, quite possibly.
there could be another issue where that arises and she would have just died anyways, just
Mhm.
later.
Yeah,
Uh
that's true. It's it's the butterfly effect. Tiny changes or tiny events can cause huge changes.
right, exactly. Exactly. Um, catching up with the chat a little bit. Um, QRW6 says in a world where people turn into animals, Anna's wave ability is normal in Fruits Basket. So there you go.
I don't feel it's normal because people don't know that there are people who turn into animals.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah, Francesca's right. I guess I was mixing that up with a different part.
yeah, I don't remember exactly. I didn't remember that
It
she
was
was
like
studying a
two
test, but
years ago, so
yeah, I didn't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, I remember she didn't do something
yeah.
that she regularly would do. Um, when she goes to Kazuma's at the end, she learns about Haru and Rin. They're probably Hattori fills her in about the others being free. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
kind of
thanks,
gloss
Melina.
over that, but
QRW6 also says, remember, Mal was rigged in the past due to certain over-the-top, ecchi, mid-hentai series. Yes. All of the great anti-tubers that we love.
exactly. I should make a video on that, then I'll get famous.
Francesca says, if Akito was the protagonist, she'd be a flawed anti-hero, in the same vein that a lot of Western characters are from, like, video games. But usually, those type of characters are only men, lol. Well, there's also Lara Croft. So
But
Lara Croft is a bad person. Like, holy shit. Lara Croft literally goes to like indigenous villages and like even like cities and shit and just fucking destroys it and like just murders a bunch of people due to her actions. Like,
okay, so yeah, she's a good hero. You should look up to her.
no. Not at all. And
So you're saying I should not? Well, yeah, I look up to her and Akito kind of the same.
No. Lara Croft is like presented as the hero, but like she's God. Jesus God.
No, Akito's God, not Laura.
Well, I mean Lara might as fucking well be God. She defeated a couple of them, so.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so back on the topic of Kyoto, now that I found the note I was at, I liked the one part where Tohru was saying, like, you'll let me stay by your side, I can hold your hand, as they're holding hands.
Yeah. That was a very cute. That's very cute.
Yes. Yeah, they're just, like, so precious, and they both, like, they do not think much of themselves, and you can even see that here as, like, the story's closing now, and, like, the character arcs are over. But it shows in a way people never stop changing and growing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the whole relationship between those two is just, it feels right, you know? It's just perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I loved in the hospital how Tohru had Momiji's bunny tucked in bed next to her.
Yeah. Yeah. It just, I don't know. It's just great. It's great stuff. I guess I should read the most recent ones. Melina says, I think from Akito's perspective, there would be a lot more in-clan politics and scheming. Yeah, that could be cool. Akito is the best. How brave she was to let go of what she clung to so desperately. Also, Melina says, did you notice the cat? It was so interested in Kyo.
Yes, that was great.
That was actually, see, that's a callback to season 1.
Well, I think it's just a natural thing of the Zodiac. They're attracted to their animal, or their
Oh, yeah, well,
animal
that
is
too,
attracted
yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
But yes, even so.
Melina also says there still isn't a definitive answer as to how or why the curse broke. Tohru and the others who rebelled against Akito probably were instrumental, but it seems that the linchpin remains Akito. There you go.
Which, I mean, I'm curious if they like give any more explanation in the manga, but also I don't think it needs it.
Yeah, I don't know if I want the curse being broken explained. Just for the simple fact of, like, when we talk here in a moment about how the curse came about, like, it seems like a whole bunch of voodoo bullshit, so I don't like, it's like, do you need to explain magic? That's what happens when you get metachlorians and Starfield or Star Wars and stuff. So, like, trying to explain something you can't rightfully explain, I think is, I don't think we need it, you know?
Yeah, and not with a show like Fruits Basket. I think in some shows it definitely makes sense to it, like a certain show that you're currently protesting these owners of. Like, there's a lot of magic there, and I feel like we want to explain like how the system works, how the different things happen. But in Fruits Basket, it just doesn't need it because that's not what the story is about.
Damn. Francesca says there's no explanation in the manga, it's very up to interpretation. And I like that. I like when they leave stuff up to interpretation as well. I guess we have a couple string of comments in reference to Lara Croft and the Tomb Raider games and her murdering everybody.
Yep, good
Uh,
person.
what such a good person. Inlia says, but she has knockers. Are we talking about to your eternity knockers, or are we talking about breastises? We need to
I
know.
think we know what we're talking about.
um,
So am I allowed to tell
EA.
people? Am I allowed to say that I dropped to your eternity?
Oh, that's another heel turn. You might as well.
Okay, good. I haven't made everyone mad at me for a while.
All right. Okay. Everybody get mad.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
EA said.
Go dislike my video. Go
EA
dislike this
said
podcast too.
she can't beat Kratos. I agree. She's still a human. um, Francesca says, "Wait, are you saying that the curse backstory wasn't good? Thought the backstory was amazing and has so many themes and symbolism tied into it." No. What I'm saying is like you don't need to explain a system like magic because it's magic. It's a thing in storytelling. You know, it's like trying. I don't know. It's just, why would you need to explain something that the reason it exists is so you can get out of explaining stuff? Like it's
Well, there is.
like, can you explain the science behind Goku's Kamehameha? Or does it matter? Like that's what I kind of mean.
Yeah, and feel like with magic, there's like assumptions that don't need explained, and then you build from there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like, magic was invented to say, I want to do this cool thing in the story,
Right.
or I don't want to explain why this is.
Yeah, and I feel like some shows they have a like really complicated magical system. Or it's like we need to understand the rules and like see how the events happen in accordance with those rules.
All right.
So I feel like if you just hand wave everything as just be magic, that just doesn't feel satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. EA says, you know what? No, I'm not going to mention it because everybody keeps talking about it. Don't know why. Ilia says, why can't I cheer bits? I have bunch left over. I'm not partnered because I don't ever plan to be a partnered Twitch streamer. Even if I become a Twitch streamer, I just
So
no interest.
you should just mail C $100 instead.
Yeah, you can do that. QRW6 says the Zodiac folklore was the best part because the cat's words eventually reached the other members. And we should go ahead and get into that. That's kind of like in my opinion, besides, the confession and the after credits and all the characters breaking the curse, I thought this was by far like my favorite thing about the episode, just because it's really the origins of the Zodiac.
Yeah, and it's interesting how we were talking about like how magic doesn't need explained, and I think to a point we didn't need this scene, but it also like fits so well into the themes and the message of the show that it really adds to it.
Yeah, I agree. I just thought this was so I guess instead of saying how great it is, I should probably explain why I like it so much.
Okay.
So for me, the reason this scene really worked so well is because we got to see why the bond is the way it is and why it's so strong even generations and generations later, and how even though they've been reincarnated over and over, it still lasted this long. And as well, it's really it's kind of brutal to watch. Like, they kind of turn their back,
Yeah, well, especially on the cat, which it now makes sense why the cat is so outcast from the others.
Yeah.
And it also might explain like why the cat has a monstrous form. It's like everyone turned their back on him, and so like the promise like was twisted with him. Like he wanted to get out of it, that made him a monster. Like took the god's power.
Right. I think the most to me is like the I guess like the most heartbreaking part is when they're talking, like he's like, oh, we're gonna just have immortality and be reincarnated forever, and they're like, we don't want that, we didn't ask for that.
Well, no, it was only the cat who said that. Because none of the other characters seemed to mind what the cat was saying, or none of the other characters were going along with the cat.
Wait, isn't that what I said?
No, I think so.
Not, I'm. I was like, I'm
I'm
going
listening to you and talking and reading
to. Oh, terrible. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. That's the thing that really stood out to me though, is that whole thing. Um, and also like, man, I got to get some of that sake. Sake, sorry. Got to get some of that immortality sake, where I get reincarnated over and over.
We're gonna get you a drink again.
Well, Rising, did I not tell you?
Oh no.
I got another voucher code.
For a wine?
Yes. So
Oh, no.
remember, so I got like 6 bottles of wine for like $20.
Oh no.
The second voucher code, I got 12 for $20.
Well, I mean, I do have that tiramisu in the fridge that has alcohol in it, apparently.
It was only $20. Like they were just like $20, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna sell it again. By the way, I sold most of them, besides the one I drank. Yep,
Uh-huh.
I made way more than I paid for. We'll just say that. Oh my god, we're getting off topic. This edition of the Fruits Basket podcast is rather chill. I quite enjoy it.
It is. Yeah, we just say things. I sometimes try sounding smart, and then Francesca tells me why I'm wrong.
Yeah. Melina says Shigeru had a small scar on his cheek. Did you notice that? I did as well. I wondered where that came from, though.
I didn't either. Maybe you'll get the answers there.
Maybe it was Akito or something?
Could be, but I don't know when Akito would have done that to
Hmm.
So, did you have any other thoughts on the backstory itself? Because there's something I had that's kind of tied to it, but I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, well, Francesca says it was only the cat that didn't want it. They all shunned the cat. He said we, so
Yeah.
it sounded like all the animals. Sorry. Oops. Whoopsie daisy. I like how we saw as well about this. We saw in the first episode, we kind of saw God in the middle of his special magical pentagram with all of his bonds. So that was really cool to see.
Like,
what did you think
show
about
the
that
truth.
specifically?
I thought it was really good. Like, we also had the story retold at the beginning of this season too.
Did we? I don't.
Yeah, like at the start of season 3, episode 1.
Oh my god, I gotta go back and see what it is.
All right, it's going up in my notes. This might take a little while.
I do not have any screenshots from season 3, episode 1. What the fuck? I have like ones of Reen and Rin, or Rain and Rin.
Wait, I don't have notes. Where'd my notes go?
Dude, all of our stuff has just disappeared.
Huh.
What?
Okay,
For the Mighty Donut and Chainsaw, which is a great name, says most underrated anime. Maybe not at this point, but yeah, I would still say underrated in a different way though. Maybe in terms of
season 3 had the Zodiac things together.
Okay. I don't remember. See, I don't remember that. Holy crap.
I also have pictures of Kyo being adorable. I'm sending this to you.
Kyo is pretty. He's a looker,
That's gonna be awkward since there's a Kyo as a kid.
Oh god, I didn't know you meant it that way. Oh jeez. Well, yeah, he's adorable in this. So innocent,
yes.
So pure. Melina says now we need to see Yuki's curse breaking, which we had seen it in this episode, but I guess it would have been too much since there's also Machi to deal with. Oh yeah,
because he went to go see Machi, so I feel like his curse breaking and him being with Machi will somehow tie together.
Yeah, they're gonna play some Guitar Hero to celebrate breaking the curse.
Yes, and speaking of breaking the curse, something I thought of while watching this episode was how important the banquet was. And do you remember back in season 1, they had the New Year's episode, and Kyo and Yuki basically left their Akito's banquet.
Yeah, I do.
And
Well,
I think that
wasn't that brought up again in season 2? Or maybe it was brought up multiple times in season 1 now that I think about it.
it might have, but like now I see like how important the banquet is because it's a banquet that was a promise between all of them.
Yeah, yeah, the banquet. Yeah, exactly. And see, I wonder. So Momiji was the one to always go to the banquet and dance at the banquet. So, but he was the first one to break the curse. Am I right?
Kurna was.
Well, after Kurino.
Was it Hiro or was it Momiji? I forget the order.
God. Oh my God. I did not do my brain's not working today. Holy shit. I think it's Momiji. So I find that interesting. He's one of the first to break the curse.
Yeah. And Hiro definitely seemed like kind of out of place for it. But if you will notice, the first three characters who broke the curse, Kurino, Momiji, and Hiro, all had a girl that they loved.
Hmm.
Because Kurino has Akito, obviously, which is kind of where the dad break the curse. But and then Hiro has Kisa that he loves, and then Momiji has Tohru.
That's interesting. See, I wonder. See, to me, so to me now. Call me crazy if I'm crazy.
Crazy.
Oh, God damn it. Well, so call me crazy if I'm crazy for thinking this, but to me that wraps back around to loving yourself, because to love somebody else, you really have to love yourself. I think, like truly, because you have to understand yourself, right, to make a relationship work. At least traditionally and ideally.
Yeah, and I feel like in their case, like there was like a pure love where they like truly cared about the other person.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is I think Kurino kind of pitied Akito, and I don't think really loved Akito in that way,
I
though.
feel like there's definitely a piece of like true love there.
I don't. Well, I mean, you can like love anybody, right? As long as you
Yeah.
put your fucking mind to it and try to make it work, you can do it. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody else has some thoughts on that. I'm a dumbass. What do I know?
Yeah. Okay, Francesca just said something interesting. So she's saying that Momiji didn't always dance. It was normally the gear the animal of the previous year dancing with the animal of the coming year. And so is Hattori Momiji because it's going from the year of the rabbit to year of the dragon. And you'll remember that the dragon was also the last of the original animals to die. So in a way, could that be symbolizing like things are nearly over for the whole Zodiac?
I mean, it like it's cyclical. So I think the maybe.
Yeah, that again might be reaching, but still, it's just another thing that just it seems to line up that way.
Well, I don't like. Okay, so I don't. So I think if it does, it's a coincidence.
It might be.
But yeah, it's interesting to think about though.
Yeah, I don't know if that was planned at all, if that's meant to symbolize something, but or it could just be random chance because I'm sure I could come up with symbolism no matter who it was.
Yukami Joe says, just like Ayame to Mine, what's holding Yuki back from pursuing Machi is his curse. And I was thinking about this. I wonder if the curse itself is a manifestation in many ways of moving past trauma and issues that you have. And to break the curse is like the requirement, there's no requirement, right? But like in this, context, maybe the requirement is accepting who you are and loving yourself and being able to move on from the curse or what ails you, which can feel like a curse.
It could be like finding something else to latch on to.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it's interesting stuff. Lena says, hey, once you've read the manga, will you make a video about your impressions and the non-adapted content? I would like to make more Fruits Basket content, for sure, and I am definitely going to read it. But it just depends. But if it's good, sure. If there's something to talk about, sure. Oh yeah, we could definitely do a podcast on it. Like that solves that up pretty quick. So
Yes, I also want to read it. So if I read it because I need help see make a video, then that gives me more motivation to read it. So
Yeah, people really liked my last fruits basket video. I don't make many fruits basket like videos. Usually
yeah,
just podcasts.
I have a couple I'm making definitely by the end. So you should subscribe to me so you can see those when they come out.
Um, Melina says Momiji is one of the first to say a direct no to Akito's face during the beach arc. That is true. That is interesting, and that would make sense in that case to him being the most defiant
Yeah.
to then be the one of the first to break the curse, because
Well,
I think Momiji maybe has already accepted himself as for who he is, because if you're like a very defiant person, you kind of stand up for what you believe in, right?
and it's also the reason that he stood up to Akito was because of his love for Toru.
Yeah, which was sure he loved Tohru. So
Yeah.
there's a
So
lot
like
of confidence.
he even admitted that yes, he loves her. So like he's already moved on from the curse and like found someone to love.
Right. Yeah, it's super interesting stuff, really thinking about that. I like thinking about Fruits Basket from that perspective.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
It's, and like they don't spell it out, so maybe we're like reaching too much to it. But in a way, it like helps make this message and the theme stronger because it's not like all explicit.
Yeah. Man, that's so cool. Such interesting. Such interesting much wow. Um
Yes.
uh geez, when you think that Shigure and Kureno probably had to dance together. Oh, that's funny. And
Yeah, someone would.
Melina also says in the manga, Shigure says that another hint he had about the curse ending was the Zodiac's powers and forms had weakened too. Ergo, Hattori's dragon equals seahorse.
That would make sense too.
So I wonder, with their like powers weakening. So obviously, I guess for the seahorse, that changed his form, um, from an actual literal fucking dragon to a seahorse. I wonder if maybe there was, like how there's like a timer, they eventually turn back into humans after a while. I
Uh-huh.
wonder if at some point that timer wasn't a timer and they could just transform to and fro. And maybe physical contact is just a byproduct that just so
Oh yeah,
that, and it get worse, as the
yeah.
powers weaken, or maybe
And
it's
it could also
uncontrollable or whatever.
because it started off as like all the zodiacs were actually animals, but now it's like
Right.
the human with the zodiac spirit both in the same body. So it could be like the physical touch is like that's like awakening the animal to like push the person away to like so that the curse and promise is maintained.
I wonder if there's like eras where maybe they all die and they're reincarnated back into just pure animals or whatever. That would be interesting.
It would be, but I feel like the curse weakening means that the human is more and more dominant over the um yeah, is more dominant over the human over time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
and Francesca and you, Kamijo, are both bringing up that Karen as a sparrow instead of an actual rooster. I wonder if that's why Kisa is a tiny, adorable tiger instead of like a full size one.
See, now I'm just disappointed we won't get to see Kisa and turn into a giant tiger.
Yes, I wanted to see that too. And her like chase someone around as a tiger.
Tigers are great. Elena says there's a theory that Kureno's curse broke around the time that Shigure spoke to Akito about a love that exists beyond the Zodiacs. Maybe this that prompted Akito to subconsciously let go briefly.
Oh, yeah, because it definitely seems like Akito letting go is what broke it for basically everyone.
Yeah, and I
So
wonder if
that's what.
that to me shows how strongly willed Akito was to not let any of it go.
Yeah. Well, that's also like been his focus the whole time, and I wonder if the curse breaking is what demanded that Akito like hold on to it so much.
Yeah, that too. I mean, as we we've seen the last couple episodes, these bonds are extremely important to her.
Right.
It's like literally kind of like the only thing she has left. Um, so Yeah, it's super interesting. Actually, just thinking about that. It's a good point. Um, Francesca says Kisa is a small tiger because she's a kid. She'd be a big tiger if she hit puberty / grew up. Yeah.
Well, is that necessarily true though? Because isn't Hero like a full-sized like goat or ram or whatever animal, or not ram,
She,
sheep? And like he's a full-size sheep, or at least pretty close to it, not like a tiny sheep.
I
But
wonder
that
if
would
that's
also be
just
adorable.
relative to size, though. Like, I wonder if that whole thing is like so. Kisa, what? How she was a young girl, probably 12 or
Well,
something like that.
she's like 13, I think, when Tohru met her.
Okay, so
Maybe
she's like
12
12,
or
13.
13. But
Yeah.
Hero's the same age.
So, but I don't think it's exactly relative to the age itself of that animal as it is the size of the person.
I mean,
And
but Hero's like as close to her size.
yeah, but Hero's like really small, so um I don't know. It doesn't
I
work
thought
out
he
in
was
other animals because like IMA is a super slithery snake. So Treska's no hero is a baby sheep. See,
okay. I thought he was like close to a full size one when Tohru hugged him
see, I wonder how those mechanics work now. See, that's really interesting. Why is this show so fucking goddamn cool?
because it has Tohru.
This is true. Tohru is the best, officially now
Yes.
forever. I've
Yes.
It's in the title of the video.
Exactly.
It's official. So
Do I have other? Oh, we saw in the Zodiac in the banquet when the cat was dying, you could see the rat riding the ox.
that's that's in context of modern Fruits Basket characters, that's kind of funny.
It fits. It also like fits the whole story.
Yeah, it does.
Not here. Okay, I need to go double check that episode. Oh, and an interesting symbolism about the whole like original story of the Zodiac is like one outcast looking for our other outcasts, basically.
Huh.
Because they made the whole point like this is the gathering for those who are different, or the banquet for those who are different.
Hmm.
And it also ties in what Shigure said a few episodes, how like they're all monsters, so like they're all different than normal people, and like they were for us since the beginning.
That's interesting as I change my desk from standing to a sitting desk because I got one of those fancy desks.
Oh, nice. You should give me
Yeah.
one.
They're like $450.
You should give me one.
Oh, Lord. What were we talking about? I forgot. I was changing my
Stuff like
desk.
probably.
Yeah, so Hibiki?
Speaking of Hibiki, did you notice there was an after credits scene?
I did, yeah.
Nice. Okay, good.
Because I was like, well, this episode ended early.
Yeah, it wasn't like a super long one, but it was like they had, and it was the god basically narrating over them learning about the curse breaking, and I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a lot of like Kyo arrived and Toru was so adorable. She's just like Kyo's like, oh, look, Kazuma. And then Toru's like just so fucking happy.
Yes,
Kazuma's
Toru is making happy Toru noises.
yeah, I love just they hug each other and Toru looks it's just so cute.
Toru is adorable, and Kyo and everyone.
This is true. Yeah, and then see I love some of the reactions though. Like I like this was this last episode actually, or no, that's the end of this episode where you see Hattori. I liked his reaction to it. That was really cool, dude. Some of the ways they like artistically showed like the curse breaking and how some people reacted was awesome.
Yeah, well,
like for
we saw,
everybody
how
it was
shocked
different.
Ritsu was. Like
Yeah,
some of the others were like
by
more
the way,
subtle.
Ritsu, what the fuck? Where's my boy
why
at?
isn't Ritsu there?
Yeah, he should have been in the show. He should have been the main character.
We need more Ritsu.
Yeah. Where's my? Can we get some shrimps in the chat for Ritsu?
I don't know how that fits Ritsu, but okay. Oh, I love Haru's comment to Rin saying like it's lonelier than you would have expected. like shows like yes, the curse breaking is good, but it's also a huge change for all of them.
Shrimps in the chat.
There you
But
go.
but
I'm deleting that comment.
oh my god, no. Don't delete the shrimps.
Okay, why is Discord going crazy? Is it 8-bit again?
Yeah, Francesca says she was started crying when the curses
Well,
were breaking, and I was too. I was like, this is such a, like, we've been with these characters for 3 years, and
and I loved Akito's narration over it too, like seeing
yeah,
like cry with me through this, and just like how he kept or how she kept saying that over and over again. I think she might have said it more in the dub than the subs because I watched them both of them.
you see, that's interesting. Like, even when their bond is broken, they still have a bond.
Yeah,
It's not a good one, but they will, like, Akito, in a sense. I mean, she didn't exactly get her wish, but she by technicality, she still kind of gets what she wants.
yeah, and the way like she wants the other people to feel the way she does, especially since the curse is gone and she no longer has those bonds.
Yeah. Oh, see, we got shrimp and lobsters in the chat. Of course, lobsters are lobsters. So
Exactly. I need to go get dinner.
I miss shrimp. I should get some shrimp. I can eat shrimp on my diet.
Yeah, like shrimp's pretty good for you as long as you don't like deep fry it or cover it in butter or those tasty things.
I cry.
Yes, and we also had Akito drag Tohru into a room to hug her, as I'm sure we would all do if we saw Tohru.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, I don't think I would, hug I wouldn't. I mean, I'd be like, wow, that's Tohru, but yeah. I don't know if I do that though. I don't
I want to hug her, whether she'd let me or not. Actually, she would because it's Tohru.
I will say this, especially, any would-be YouTubers out here watching right now. Spica Illustrations. Check her out. She is actually the real-life Tohru. Like, I'm not kidding.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Plus, she makes awesome art and stuff on Twitter.
Oh my god, did you see her profile picture? Like, her avatar mint?
Yeah, the cat thing.
Yeah, oh my god. Dude, it's beautiful.
Yes, go follow her.
Spica's great. I'm watching people says sea roaches. This is true. This is exactly what they are. Yukami Joe says the bond/curse is superficial. Akito knows that. That's the reason why she's desperately holding back and abusing the Zodiac members.
I wonder if it could also be a commentary on society now, because there's a lot of like interconnectivity in ways for like people to connect with those outside of like their family, especially if you go with like like the curse represents an abusive, terrible family, but now like there's so many ways to like reach out to escape a terrible family, so the curse is weaker now.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. See, that's interesting. That just opens up. God damn it, Fruits Basket. Oh my god, this show's great. I feel like I could go on just forever talking about this episode in particular. I don't know why.
I mean, we've already gone for like 50 minutes, and the episode's only like 25 minutes long.
Oh god, we're cutting into Satsuki's stuff. We can go for let's say it's 7 more minutes. I don't want to cut into Satsuki's show any more than I already am. I hate doing that.
Yeah, I need to get home from work earlier and not be distracted by things.
Francesca says, I wish I was the real life Tohru. Well, you can meet the real life Tohru. I mean, you're almost there, Francesca. You're like the only thing you're missing is like just being named Tohru. So like just change your name.
Oh, I didn't notice that, Melina, that Kagura had a normal bag that wasn't a cat one.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that backs up that everybody kind of is moving on, I think.
So I think I'm just going to go...
Well,
when I make my video about this, I'm just going to go read all the chats that we ever gotten and like take all the smart things from them.
hey, if you ever need a link to them, I had to unlist them, sadly. Not because I wanted to, just because the Bento channel is being turned into a Webtoons channel, which, by the way, just saying, the Bento channel is coming back on June the 25th. It's going to be a Webtoons only channel. First episode, The Girl Downstairs. Great Webtoon.
Okay.
Yep. been doing a lot of suggestions as well from other people. But yeah, I had to take all those down, so sadly. But you can like access them through playlists and stuff, so they didn't go away forever.
I don't know if you read this comment from Melina, but it's saying the cursed ones are those who are different, and there are so many bad parents in Fruits Basket. It seems funny, but how many parents struggle with or reject children who are different?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Like I think you kind of have to accept that your child is going to be I think you have to be open to the possibility that your child may you have to love them unconditionally, right? So
Yeah,
you have to accept
like,
it may not be exactly this what you think it's going to be.
and I feel like all of us in some way are going go against our parents' expectations just because like that's how people are.
Yeah, that's true. Francesca says Kagura's outfit was very cute. All right. Okay.
Yes,
all right,
it
cool.
was. I agree.
Okay. So, any final thoughts on this episode?
I'm gonna be sad this series will be over.
Yeah, I don't want this series to end. Why does it have to end?
Exactly.
What did I do? Was it my fault? Whose fault was it?
I blame C.
I cry. Well, it's looking like our main theory of Tohru turning into a dragon is not going to happen.
We still have time. The curse is broken, so maybe that will let her turn into a dragon.
I mean that could be it. It very well could be, but we'll have to see. My Kokoro will be not connected. If Tohru doesn't turn into a dragon, so it'll be very sad. Rising, where can they find you?
They can find me on my YouTube, where I will sometimes make videos and sometimes stream things. They can find me on Twitch, where I sometimes stream things. They can find me on OnlyFans, where I talk about politics. And they can find me on Twitter, where I will talk about anything else I do.
All right. Gonna be sad to see this series go. I think we got 2 more episodes left. Gonna cry. Yep. By the way, the ending song for this season, banger, always fits right into the episode's ending every time.
Yes, it
makes me cry.
It's like the perfect way to like close out the episode.
Exactly. I watch it every time. It's great. I cry.
Yes, lots of crying.
Thanks everybody for watching. Much appreciated. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Yes, good night.